Hello, everyone. Okay, hey, everybody. Welcome to another Berta Blab. I'm Natasha Berta. I'm an online marketer, but I'm not a normal online marketer. My thing is about being yourself and not trying to fit into the mold of someone else, and about making real connections with people. And yeah, and it's all informed really by years and years of yoga practice and meditation practice. And then I ended up doing a marketing degree, and now here I am. So that's my thing. And today I have Anita, Bentata, and Tash Corbin. And I don't know who else is even going to jump on. Anyone can jump on in today, and we're just going to have a chat, see what happens. Let's start with Anita. I spoke to you on Blab a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
About your Red Riding Hood.
Yes, I've been tossing up about rebranding to show more about what I do, so I'm thinking at this point I'm going to have my business name be the Little Red Riding Hood Effect.
Cool.
And
you're fully embracing it now.
Absolutely, because for me it underlies not just to do with relationships, but also to do with so many things as a woman, that we're encouraged to be like Little Red Riding Hood, go out in the world and look after and be nice and sweet, and everybody likes that, and that they're lovely, beautiful qualities. But Little Red Riding Hood didn't get taught how to navigate the wolves. She gets taught to go visit grandma who's sick, but she doesn't get told, hey, but there's wolves out there and they don't follow the rules that I'm teaching you. So that happens to me, just not in relationships, but in health, owning our own body, owning our life choices, owning our own business. It's in everything. So I'm all about, it's time to take the red hood off and get out there and be the whole woman that we all are, and very much about not just about, because I have got a big focus for women that have been impacted by toxic relationships, but also about when we're being with the Little Red Riding Hood effect, she's in an environment of people, like she doesn't live on her own. And so part of my work is working with women that have been impacted by toxic, abusive relationships, but my work is also about educating women who are not impacted by abuse or toxic relationships to be able to know more about how to communicate with their friends when they do have a concern about something that they're sensing or hearing or seeing. Because so many women don't want to talk about it with each other because they don't want to lose the friendship, or have something happen that kind of unspoken hasn't been agreed that this is what our relationship's about. So I'm really about working with the whole community, not just the women, and I run talks to explore a whole range of areas of things that I think are really important that people don't know about, that's relevant for everybody in their life. Because one of the things that I don't know of anyone that I've spoken to that's known about this, and I can't remember if I spoke to you about it last time, Natasha. Did I talk to you about that there's a stress response that's unique to women?
No.
Did you know there is one?
No, what's that related to?
Yeah, well, when the stress response was first recorded and studied about, most of us know about the fight, flight, freeze response, yeah?
Yeah.
That's a given, yeah, we all know about that. It was only studied on men that had come back from the war. And one woman one day thought, hold on, women weren't in that study. What if we don't do that? Or what if there's something else that's different? So she went and studied a whole lot of women, Dr. Shelley Taylor, and she found out that, yes, we do have those responses like men, but we also have one that's very tied in when we go in the stress response, that the hormones get activated. And what happens is that there's a hormonal response, but it changes our behaviors and the choices that we make. And what she named it as is tend, friend, and mend. Tend, mend, and befriend. And it's survival mechanism of, we've got to look after the tribe. We're not about breaking apart the family. We're about keeping everything together. And because in our DNA, that's what's essential to survive, that we needed each other. But when we're in this modern society, to survive, we don't need our immediate tribe the way we used to, because we've got such a broader field of support that we can access nowadays. So it's not necessary in the same way. We still need our tribe, but we can survive even without our tribe. Yeah. It's not going to be life and death. But when we're in the stress response, it involuntarily activates tend, mend and befriend, always wanting to take care of, keep things together.
I want to write that down.
And that can women,
right.
whether it's relationships or work relationships or friendships or business choices that aren't necessarily the best option for them, because they're doing a lot of tending, taking care of. And it's so much about wanting to protect. So that's just one small area that isn't known. Like, there's so much in about family violence in the papers and the media now, but does anyone talk about understanding that that's a huge part that overrides the conscious system when we're in the stress response, to keep making sure that things aren't falling apart. We're in maintaining mode, and that's going to
and then everybody, it's very much the focus on everybody else as well, isn't it?
Exactly. So those things need to be understood, because they override those stress responses, override our conscious choices. And if we're not aware of it, and recognizing that we can't be with all of what's going on when we're in this, we're tending, we're making sure everything's okay according to the group, not the individual. So
interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it?
And so in a way that's maybe it's evolved, but it's kind of a culturally induced thing. Like you said previously, we would have had a closer knit village system going on. So it's not really purely biological reaction.
Well,
is the feeling I get from the way you explained it.
The understanding I have is the stress response is a pure survival mechanism, that when we're stressed to survive, because that's what we've needed in our DNA, is to stay together, because we wouldn't be able to survive if we didn't stay together. But
so true.
Because of our modern society, we can still survive even if we don't all stay together. But that stress still gets activated.
Yeah, so it is biological.
Yeah. But there's things you can do when you recognise that's what's going on. But if we don't have a culture around us that recognises that's what's going on, then we don't know how to address it. And we can make all different interpretations and judgments that aren't helpful when someone's in that mode. And what's interesting about that is that a lot of women who are nurses, there's a high percentage of women who are nurses who are in toxic relationships. And to me, that's a real example of that tending, the taking care of, and the individual isn't being encouraged. Individual self-care.
So it's an opportunity to set a new paradigm in place about how we view the way women behave in stressful situations.
Yes.
I mean, in any situation, really, it's a new way of thinking that we need to introduce about women that nobody really sees or has accepted before.
And there's almost like, I think our culture, our society likes that women have this role. It suits society of being the caretaker, and it's nice. And it's not that women don't, it's not that women have to lose that role, but we can have this and that, rather than being exclusively the caretaker at the cost of self, at the cost of the individual.
Nice. That's some good work right there.
Yeah.
I think at first when you guys are on together, I was like, what is going to be the thread with these two? But I already feel like there is a crossover there with what Tash does. We had Tash on for ages. Tash Corbin is this is okay. I usually give my nuffy interpretation of what you do, and then you get to actually elaborate, because I just like playing this game. I don't know why. I would say you're a business coach. You help people start in business or you help people to improve their business, but you have a particular focus on women, and you want to help liberate women from a mindset of just getting by, that you're ready to like help them be really powerful and mighty in their business. Yeah. Yes.
Nice.
Now you get a turn. I'd love you to tell us what your title is or something, and what kind of work you do. And then if we were to have a session with you, what would you do to us? Because we have done that a little bit with Anita. Because when I have healers or something on, I do like, is she going to touch me? Because if you have an online session with them, how is she going to do Reiki on me? Is she going to touch me? But for you, it's a little bit different.
Yes, it's a lot more practical for me and a lot easier to imagine, I guess. But I do call myself a business coach and mentor. I work with I work with women, and I help them to rise out of, I call it the pink ghetto. So I see so many women create amazing businesses that really do change lives and make a difference and change the world, but then they're not being paid minimum wage. They're not actually looking after themselves. And I also see a lot of women get caught up in working with six-figure coaches, seven-figure coaches. I saw an eight-figure coach the other day on Facebook. He had 100 likes, so clearly he doesn't need as many people following him. Because,
niche market.
But I think it's a really interesting phenomenon that I see, that these women get caught up in working with these coaches. It costs them $15,000, and they're told that they're going to start a business and be successful. And then all of the things that they're being taught by this coach are really masculine and pushy and gross, and they feel yuck. And, you know, it's the whole, like, you've done a marketing degree, but you say you do it differently. It's sort of the same thing. They get taught these, like, if you want to be a successful coach, you have to do these things. And so for a lot of women, they get caught in this cycle of trying to do these things, feeling really disconnected from that and feeling really uncomfortable with that. And then they kind of let it die down, and then they kind of force themselves into it again, and then they let it die down. And so what I really do is to help people to embrace the feminine dynamic of business and show them that they can be successful in business and they can have the 6 figures and the 7 figures. I haven't seen the 8 figures yet, but we'll get there, in their business by staying connected. And really it's doing those really powerful feminine, having those really powerful feminine qualities, actually giving them a value and being really having those seen as a really beautiful way to do your marketing. So, you know, I think we all have a balance of this masculine and feminine energy, and I like to help people to really make the most of that balance rather than trying to force themselves into a really masculine kind of way of being. If someone was to have a session with me, it really depends where you're at. Like I work with people from the start to the finish in terms of starting an online business and getting set up. So I kind of have 3 areas where I work with people. So the first is in the lean startup model. I have a program called Takeoff, which someone in this room has done. In that program, I help people to start a business on a very lean budget. I help them to start, you know, really do all the things that you really do need to do to be successful in business and get money in the door. And a lot of those things people think of, like, it's a big disconnect. People think you need a website, or you definitely need a logo. You need a fancy backdrop, you know, you need all these sexy things in order to be successful in business. No, really, you just need, you know, a way for people to pay you money and something that you want to sell them. That's really all you need to have a business. That's all it takes these days. So I help in the startup. So if you were to work in a session with me in startup phase, I would help you get clear on what your message is, get clear on what it is that you're good at and what you're doing. And I would help you in a really feminine, beautiful way to take that message out to the world and start making money out of it straight away. If you're then in the next stage of business, I help people to start along the path of passive and leveraged income. And again, there's a feminine way to do it and there's a masculine way to do it. So I teach the feminine way. So the masculine way would be create a giant course, make it $3,000, set up elaborate sales funnels and marketing, put $100,000 into Facebook ads and let it go, and it just does its own thing, and never talk to the people who actually buy it.
Does that even work?
It does for some people. You don't have a lot of money, right? So there's some big names out there who have had a lot of success creating online programs and making big money, but they had a big budget to start with. So, You know, we're talking, you know, I saw someone who promoted, she's had a $150,000 launch of her first ever online course, and she was like, yeah, I've nailed it. And then when you looked at all the information in the back end of what she did, she spent $100,000 on Facebook ads. So whilst that is still, you know, $50,000 is a good return on investment, I guess, I don't have $100,000 to spare right now. So I help people who want to create an online program or passive and leveraged income in a really feminine way. It's connected. You know, I always talk about the fact that people say passive income's better than leveraged income, and I don't agree with that. I think that for me, even when I sell my planner, like it's $20, people still actually get to work with me for that $20. I run planning workshops that go with it to help people actually use that thing and make sure that it gets the results. And so if you were to do a session with me at that stage, I would help you work out, well, how is it that you want to help and serve people? And what does this mean for you as a business and your business? But also, what does this mean for your clients? And why would you do something like this? Like, what is the benefit for them? Because I think a lot of people get excited about passive and leveraged income because it's, you know, oh, I can make money in my sleep, or I can go off and sip cocktails on the beach and all that sort of thing. Whenever I talk to women about why they want to create a course or why they want to write a book, it's because they want to serve more people, because they don't have enough time to serve the people that they face to face. Sure, let's all have cocktails and go to the beach. That's great. But that's not the core underlying reason why most women want to create online programs or write that book or get those things out there. It's not about the stepping away. You know, a lot of the masculine strategies are about stepping away from your business. Oh, you get to step away and you don't have to do anything and you just get free money, and you know, that's lovely. I went to I'm getting a bit off track here, but I went to a passive income seminar, right?
I like it.
I went to a passive income seminar. I thought, I'll see what this guy's talking about. And his like big bold idea was to buy ATMs. So if you buy an ATM, I didn't know this, you can buy an ATM. It costs about $3,000, and they make about $1,500 to $2,000 a year. And so if you buy one and then you just keep it for 2 years, then it will have paid itself off. And then with the money that you get from that, you can buy another one. And then for the money from that, you buy another one. And you buy money, you do that. So it's like proper passive income, right? But I was just sitting there the whole time going, if people ask me, like, what do you do? I don't want to say I'm an ATM conglomerate. Like, what? I get angry every time I push that button that says it's $2 to use the ATM. I don't want to be part of that system.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what
right.
I mean?
Yeah, as well as I would get really lonely and really bored. I'd be hopeless if I sat home all day just watching my bank account change.
Yeah.
That would be weird.
And it's like, is that really how we want to show up in the world? And is that really what we want to do? And so, yeah, that's something that kind of drives me as well. I think you were much more succinct at explaining what I do, Tash.
That was brilliant, Natasha, what you said about how women want to connect more, not distance themselves as much.
Yep.
That's so spot on, and I haven't heard it clarified so cleanly before, because I can relate to that with the changes I'm doing in my business. I've been working 20 years one-on-one, and I don't want to distance myself, but I do want to reach more people, and so I'm doing workshops and talks and writing my book. But it's all to connect more.
Yes.
It's not to distance myself. It's brilliant. Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah.
And I think really also the work you're doing, Tash, is really a lot like the Red Riding Hood story. Like, new coaches are potentially the Red Riding Hood, and they're getting taken by wolves, really. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Oh, don't get me started on that one. Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
I've been burnt by an expensive coach.
Everybody has. This is the thing that drives me insane, right? I call it the insecurity industry, because they prey on particularly women's insecurities, right? Women have these amazing talents. You know, they have this amazing way of seeing the world, or they have this amazing thing that they can help people through, and they want to create a business out of that service or out of that talent. And I completely and utterly understand and love that that's what they want to do, right? So you've got this amazing, let's talk about something like a bit woo-woo. Let's talk about a psychic, right? So a woman who is intuitive, or she's psychic, or something like that happens, and she wants to create a business out of this. Now, there's so much insecurity around, I don't know what I don't know about online business, or I don't know, I need a website, I'm really scared and I'm really insecure about being able to put this service out there without seeming like, I always say like Harry Wormwood, who's the dad of Matilda, like he's like the world's worst used car salesman. And it's everywhere you have a fear or an insecurity, there is some wolf out there, thank you for that, Anita, that is ready to empty your bank account to make sure and to promise you that they can fix it. And they don't. That's the biggest issue that I have, is that they don't actually ever change anything or fix anything. You know, these big ticket coaching packages that I've seen, I've had an experience myself. It was only $1,000. I paid $1,000 to work with a business coach, and I specifically said I'd like to learn more about Facebook ads, marketing, you know, that kind of side of business. And I had 2 sessions where I turned up and they said, oh, you know, what would you like to talk about in your session today? And I was like, I'd really like to get your advice on Facebook ads. And the person just kept asking me all these questions. Like they were trying to be a coach, right? Like, so I was like, oh, what do you think you need to do? Well, what have you found? What do you do? And all these questions. I was like, but I've hired you for a specific purpose. Like, you can't, it's not inside my brain already, right? So there's like this huge belief that like the answer's already within. How to use the Facebook Power Editor, it's not actually in there yet. Like I actually do need you to teach me something. And I ended up asking for my money back. I got like half of my money back from that person. But people like if you put the coach on the end of anything, it's like for some reason that gives people license to not have the answer or not teach you anything because you know what I mean? And so I see a lot of that come out as well. Yeah. And and I've had a lot of people come to me and say, I've just been so burned. $15,000, $20,000 on these coaching packages, and they're being told these crazy figures, like you can make $200,000 in the next 6 months. So it's an investment. So put it against your home loan. How many people have put it against their home loan? I don't know, but
that's shocking. I'm super lucky. Like you said, Tash, I did do Takeoff with Tash, and I just feel like, how did I get so lucky? Because I could have been, I could have got sucked into some crazy scheme, and it was such a good investment. It's been so awesome, and yeah, I freaking totally recommend it. Tracey joined us. Digitized Graphics is actually.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Tracey.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Yep.
First time Blab. So.
Oh yeah, you're on. Awesome. So look, I'm going to give you my Nuffy impression of what Tracey does, but you're a bit easy because you're a graphic designer. Yeah. And so you create gorgeous, amazing logos for people.
I try.
And oh my God, that latest one is divine. The watercolor, pinky red.
Yeah,
gold.
That was a bit different to my usual style, but I had so much fun with it. But I find like creativity comes in flows, and that when you do something, you have to have a rest a couple of days after. You're just kind of tired after devoting all your time towards something. So.
I have that after a webinar. Yeah. Every time I do a webinar.
It's funny. Even when I was writing my ebook for the opt-ins on my website, that hasn't really happened yet. But yeah, just after I was finishing that, I just felt like I just needed a couple of days to recuperate. Yeah, it's funny. But yeah, Tash, just going back to what you were saying about coaching packages and things. I've paid for a couple of online courses. But I found that sometimes I'm a bit time poor. So I paid for them and I haven't actually read the emails, or I haven't got stuck into, what, to go with it. And like, you've got a couple of emails over the last couple of days. But yeah, I just find that if I have someone, who can actually be there one-on-one and say, hey, have you done this? I find that more effective. Like I've like I can name quite a
I'm an online course junkie, or I was. I definitely spent a lot of money, particularly in 2015, like this first half of 2015, second half of 2014. I think I would have purchased 40 courses. because everybody had courses and I loved all of the ideas and all of the things that they were talking about. But the more successful I got in my business, the less likely I was to actually finish all of these things I could now afford.
Sometimes you just come too busy to finish or start something, you know. It can be a bit hard, but yeah.
And then the other thing that I find as well, and this is why I don't do passive courses very much at all, is that when you have a group environment and everyone's getting together every week and you're actually delivering the program live, or you've got live Q&As that go with it, those sorts of things can create that momentum that keep people on track, and they create that sense that it's actually more likely for people to finish the program as well. So there are ways that when you're like from the creator side, there are ways that when you're creating an online program or some kind of leveraged income, there are ways that you can increase the likelihood that people are going to finish the program, and really get clear on what it takes in order to be finished. And I think that there's some really, you get skilled. I think a great facilitator, a great online program director is actually quite skilled at ensuring people can make it through the program and that they're actually going to finish. And for women, it's important to us that they do. So half of those courses that I bought were from men, and not once did I ever get an email or a follow-up or anything that said, hey, how come you haven't finished the program, or you've been a bit quiet, or how are you going with the program, or anything like that. And yet all of the ones where I purchased them from women, I either got a Facebook message or a couple of posts in the Facebook groups. Like, the women were actually very conscious that if people weren't finishing the program, they wanted to follow up and they wanted to do what they could to actually help everyone move through. Trish Everett was a beautiful example of that with her Fully Swan Body program at the start of this year. We all got, sorry, the puppies are fighting. We all got to week 3, and no one was ready to move into week 4. And Trish was so connected in with the group. She gave us all a rest week and said, everyone gets to catch up this week, and we'll have a live call to see where you're up to, help you get in, get your implementation happening, and then we'll kick off again next week. It's no drama if we go a week longer. And that was the most beautiful thing I've seen in an online program. It was just gorgeous. And I think more and more I'm seeing examples of women embracing that want to actually serve and help people.
Nice. So what's, Tracey, let's do, if I was going to have a session with you, because I did this with everyone else, what would you do to me? What would you do if I did a session with you?
I'm trying to take it easy, but yeah. Off the top of my head, I've got a Clarity creative session that I've got questions. Basically, I'd go through and ask you about your business, what's happening with it, why have you approached me, where do you want to take it, and talk about target market and things like that. And if you've got branding, already on your business, basically we talk about what's happening with it, why isn't it performing, what things you want changed. Or if you've got no logo, basically we just kind of structure the branding, from the ground up. I'd really prefer to talk to my clients on Skype or on the phone. I find that sometimes things can get broken down in communication when you're just emailing. So it's much more clearer when you can talk to someone on the phone and just, discuss what they want. And then after that, they leave me alone and I, come up with some design options. I usually say to people that I only do 3, but I can do a whole heap. I don't, go, I've done 3, that's it, But, until I'm happy with them. And then when I'm at the point where I'm happy with what I've done, that's when I send it on to the client. And then they can choose, or if not, can do more changes until they're happy. So basically I consider myself someone who is there to please, business owners. I don't go, no, this is what I want to do. This is what you're going to have. If they don't like it and they don't feel comfortable with it, it's most important for them to feel comfortable. So, so I'd listen to what they'd say, or, suggest something else if they have no idea. But, I've had different clients. I've had people that have no idea what they want, or people that have had an idea what they want. And, yeah, sometimes they're both pretty much the same kind of clients, you know, like people that have no idea, suddenly they have an idea, you know, it's pretty much all up in the air, but yeah.
Yeah, and I guess people approach you because they like the kind of work you've done in the past. Do you find that? Because I wonder, there's a bunch of graphic designers, and I just wonder how do you choose, like, what makes working with you different to working with someone else?
Yeah, I've had quite a lot of people contact me, and I think it comes down to style, but then thereafter it also comes down to their budget, you know, what they're willing to pay. It's that kind of, that's the grey area of my business at the moment. Like, I've had a lot of people kind of take my quotes and go, oh, okay, you know, I'm either going to do it myself or, you know, go somewhere else. But, yeah, I mean, I have to charge for my time. I have to charge, you know, for when the kids go into daycare. You know, I'm getting a babysitter in tomorrow. I have to work during that time, and I have to pay for that as well. So, you know,
yeah, and I saw the other day, I read somewhere something of yours saying that you worked for massive companies in the past, for Anita or something, and that you've done
that was when I was...
That cracked me up. I was like, no way.
Well, the samples we got were really great. and the samples we got from Breville were even better. So, yeah, I said to Les when he was in Broome and I was in Sydney working for Breville, I said, right, I've got a sandwich press and I've got a juicer. So, you know, you're going to have to help me pay for the move. So, yeah, I moved from Sydney to Broome. But, yeah, 96, I think it was, I got a job at Energy Design in Surrey Hills, and they were FMCG packaging. So what that is fast-moving consumer goods. So I'd go into the supermarket and I'd see all my work. I'd go, oh, look, there's Tiny Teddies, or, you know, there's Sapcol, or, you know, you name it. And, I was very lucky to get a job in that because it's a very competitive field. And I was there for about 6 years, and then, I just went around other design places in Sydney and worked for them, and, you know, North Sydney, and then I ended up working for Breville and moved to Broome, started my own business, and that was that. So,
yeah, cool. What's your background, Anita? Did you, because I know Tash was corporate, weren't you?
Yes, I was. I used to fire people.
What did you do? You used to fire people. Were you HR?
I wasn't corporate. My background is working in accounts.
Okay.
And I loved working, balancing numbers and following up in accounts receivable. And then I moved into a bit of accounts payable. And then I had my kids, and I thought, I really loved my work, but I felt like I couldn't go any further. I'd really extended, I did everything in the jobs that I needed to do, and I would end up having more time left over, and they'd give me other jobs that other people couldn't finish. And so I was doing a whole lot of extra things, and I felt like, okay, I've loved this, it's been really good, but I want something different. And I wanted something more with people, but I didn't have a clue what. And then I went and I had my girls, and I just had a feeling that I'd work it out along the way, something would come to me. But then that was when I discovered I was in an abusive relationship, and after I left and had my therapy, I thought, oh, I think I want to do this. This will be fun. So I became a volunteer, and then I went to uni and returned to study. So yeah.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Great. That's incredible. I didn't know that. That's nice.
Yeah.
It's funny because a lot of people kind of have a career, and then they reach a point where the career's not working out, like it doesn't feel like it's aligned, or whatever happens. Like for your story, you know, you just go into a different phase and things happen for them. And I feel like I had backwards life, because when I was 16, I didn't want to do a degree, and I didn't want to be a thing, and I decided to go and be a yogi. And in the end, that was a kind of trap in itself. Like, you know, if they say, oh, you go and you shave your head and wear orange and change your name to kind of release yourself from the bondage of who you think you are. But in the end, that actually became like a bondage for me. And I had to quit spirituality. Well, I mean, I didn't really quit spirituality, but, you know, I had to leave that phase of life and go and do a degree. So it's been really interesting for me to see people's reactions to corporate, or that people's reactions to things like, you know, that this is just a pen, and you can have a whole bunch of feelings about it, but really it's just a pen. And I feel the same about corporate life. I feel like, or maybe it's different because I haven't been in it, but I feel like it's essentially just a thing, and then you have to make your own way through the process and figure out how it makes sense for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the wolves story makes a lot of sense to me. I think I didn't understand about the wolves.
It makes a lot of sense to me, and seems a lot of women seem to connect with it. And did I tell you last time that in the original story, that when she knocks on the door to go into her grandmother's house and she loves her grandmother, she feels puzzled because she doesn't understand why she doesn't actually want to go in, but she still goes in because of that expectation. This is what you've got to do. And she doesn't listen to herself. So in the original story, she doesn't want to go in.
Okay. And that's the message about intuition there.
Yeah, and that's what I work a lot with one-on-one and in groups and workshops and things to help women to, because very often after women have left toxic relationships, they realise there were warning signs, but something in them minimises it, or you know, there's a whole different ways. So yeah, I work a lot with helping women to develop, instead of noticing the wolf's big eyes and big ears, to notice their inner eyes and inner ears, to be able to listen to themselves.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what's our thread with Tracey.
I was just going to say, and Tracey, I might need to contact you because I'm doing this new work. Well, it's not new work, but I'm used to being one-on-one with my clients and not going public. And now I'm going public, so I'm wanting to rebrand and have a new logo, and that's where Little Red Riding Hood comes in. So yeah, and I've been racking my brain about something simple, but something that feels connecting for the message that I do. So
no worries. We'll get in touch.
I'll have to find you and have a look at some of your work.
Yeah, absolutely.
So really, if someone came on the Blab right now, we could give them the complete overhaul. We could help them get through their horrendous coaching episode, use their intuition, sort their business out, get their branding, get marketed. Basically, you're just ready to take on the world.
Yeah.
It's just about to happen. Yeah, it is a full suite today. I love that. Well, let's do a round of promo. I think if everyone has something that they want to mention that they're up to, I might start. But I don't really know what I'm doing at the moment. Really, at the moment, I've been so lucky, and like Tash said, like I just started a group program, and I decided not to do passive, so I do live calls with my women. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I was really strung out last month because I didn't have any one-on-one clients. As I was like the ATM guy, just at home, bored and lonely. And so I'm really happy to be working with people again this month. It's been horrible. I mean, that's a good reason to do Tash's, you know, something. There's something else Tash said about when are you ready for passive and leveraged. And I am such a stubborn, naughty child. And she'd said to me, no, you just need to work one-on-one for a bit longer, Tash. And I was like, oh, just won't tell Tash I'm doing this, and I'll just go ahead and do it. And I had a very quiet month of, you know, no one to hang out with. But this month I'm with all my girls, and my group program's running, so I'm not even promoting that. I don't know why I'm mentioning it, just that I'm so happy about it. What I am promoting at the moment is one-on-one work with people, and that's always really fun. Surprise! One-on-one sessions, which are great, and I do 45-minute sessions with people, and we unpack totally like what their big audacious goal is, or big dream is for their business, and then bring it down and look at actually where you are right now and how we can use your marketing to get you where you want to be, because often people have done a lot of free stuff, all the free stuff, opt-ins, and then they're still scratching their head trying to figure out exactly how to move forward. And because I did just come out of my degree and I've been working for 5 months one-on-one with entrepreneurs, I'm starting to get a really clear picture of how we can get a step-by-step process for people to work through when they leave me after our power session. So if you want to do a one-on-one marketing session, you can just get in touch with me.
Beautiful. And you
Anita,
nailed them.
what do you got? I know last time I nailed what?
You nail your sessions. You absolutely nail it. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
The feedback I see when people come out of a Berta session is just amazing.
Yeah. My peeps love
Yeah.
me. The peeps who actually implement, who are ready and willing, and then they do as I say in the best way possible, then it does work, and it's so just makes me so satisfied to know that my recommendations are valid and they are effective. Woohoo, valid and effective.
Yeah, I saw someone raving, I think it was last night, about that. They followed what you did and the brilliant results they got.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Anita, last time you had about gazillion URLs for us.
Yeah.
What do you got this week?
Okay, well, if you're in Melbourne and you're a woman that has been in a toxic relationship, we've got our first meetup on Wednesday night for Women Starting Again. You can find us on meetup groups, Women Starting Again, or Women Starting Again on a private group on Facebook. Also the 19th, and I probably mentioned this as well last time, I've got a talk about Little Red Riding Hood, and that's in St Kilda in Melbourne next Tuesday night at the St Kilda Library. So that's happening, so I'm pretty excited. That's the second time I'm running this talk. If you're not in Melbourne and you want to find out about how Little Red Riding Hood is in you and how you want to navigate the wolves and get out of the woods and find the woodcutter within, because the woodcutter, when he's around, the wolf doesn't do anything. It's only when he's not there. And so being able to develop that capacity of the woodcutter to be able to cut through things and do what's necessary. So I also do Skype sessions. I work with women all around the world. So really happy to arrange a Skype session. You can find me on Facebook.
Right.
You can find me on Facebook in the Wolf in a Suit, and we can talk and see if it feels a good fit. So I work with the conscious and the unconscious so that everything's aligned in the right way, so you don't get, oh my God, why did I do that? And because there's been something in the unconscious that's got in the way. So yeah, that's
beautiful.
About it for now.
Nice work, woman. Go you. And Tash Corbin,
yes,
you got something coming up.
I do. I have a webinar on this Friday, and it's all about advanced launching. So for anyone who's in their second or further on launch of an online program or a group program or anything like that, I'm running a free training on Friday afternoon, and it's all about the advanced launch strategy. So how to actually now expand and up-level the launch process. And I have run, previously I've run introductory launch webinars. So you can get the intro level. If it's your first time, go to tashcorbin.com/launch webinar. And if you want to jump in for the advanced launching, then join me on Friday. I've got the link already pre-written, so let me go. So, it's tashcorbin.com/launch webinar. I'll just put that one in too. But the launch webinar one is a recording. And there's no opt-in or anything. It's just a giveaway. And then if you want to come along to the advanced one, it's on this Friday afternoon, and I'd love to see you there. And it's all free. I do love my freebies.
I love your webinars. I always get, you say you get pumped up on your webinars. The first webinar I actually watched of yours, I started at 11:30 thinking, it'll be fine because it won't be that interesting. And I'll just listen to 5 minutes and then I'll switch it off. And I was up until like 1:30, and then I was pacing around. Everyone's asleep, and I was pacing around my living room. I was like, oh my God, I was so stupidly excited. Like your energy was so infectious. And that was the recording. I was like, because I'm such a sponge. Like I'm just such a sponge, everyone's energy.
Yeah, I had actually, I got
exciting. Totally recommend the webinar.
I got an abusive message from Roberts on the last one because she said, I was just going to watch your webinar in the background while I was working, and you were so fired up and you got so fired up that I didn't do anything else. I was supposed to be working a website for the hour, and I ended up spending an hour just staring at my screen yelling. So I was like, don't come to my webinar expecting to multitask. It doesn't happen. No.
This is all very positive. This is good.
It's a good thing.
And That's a good thing, Tracey. Have you got a little URL link or a link to something that you have at the moment as an offer?
Well, I don't really have an offer, but I've just got a couple of new work coming in. I'm doing labels for a local lady who's launching a essence range, like a spray, and I think she's got a dab on, but yeah, she's got lots of different floral essences that she wants to bottle up. She's teaming up with a lady who's moved from Townsville to Brisbane in order for her to get a warehouse, and she's actually sending all her products over to the US. So it could be quite big for my client. So, yeah, that's exciting. And I'm working on some website buttons for Isaiah McKinney. She's on the Heart Centre group.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. So I've got some website buttons, and I've actually helped her with an ebook cover, which Tash, I think, was one of the issues on the Heart Centred page that day when people were asking about the ebook cover design. That
got so much
was
traction.
My design. So yeah, but I didn't judge. I didn't vote on that little poll because I felt like it was a conflict of interest. So, but there you go. I didn't put her up to that. She just went ahead and did it on her own. But yeah, there you go.
I think it's been a thing that's been increasing over time anyway. And you've got your Facebook.
Yeah, the website. The website developer's actually gone overseas for a couple more weeks. She's gone over for 4 weeks, but yeah, she's about 2 weeks into it. But yeah, she's been hard at work, and when she gets back, we're going to launch it. But I'm just hoping
Facebook's always a good way to get in touch.
Yeah, anyway, well, I've been relying on Facebook. Like I saw a post the other day about someone saying, "Oh, what would you do if Facebook just kind of went under?" And I'm like, I don't know. I'd cry for a week. I mean, I've been relying on Facebook so much for my business that when this website,
it ain't going under. You're fine.
I want to direct traffic off Facebook to my website. That's what I'm aiming for. So we'll see what happens.
My partner's up to, I think he's up to about $10,000 or $12,000 in his business so far. He still doesn't have a website. He just runs it through his Facebook page. You don't need it. Like, it's an up level. It definitely is. But honestly, you don't you don't need a lot to run a business. You really don't.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love it. And honestly, I like who do you buy from? Do you buy from someone who's got the fanciest website, or do you buy from someone who Berta says, oh, she's amazing, like you should totally work with that person? Like, who do you work with?
Yeah, well, the people
that
I'm looking for a service provider, and if I find, like on Google, there's multiple pages, I'll probably click on each website, like just a couple. And I'd probably go with the one that I'm a graphic designer. So if I like the look of something, if they've done a good job. I've even been looking at business people. And I find for me, when you're looking for like a business mentor video, if they don't have a video, if I can't hear them talking, sorry, but it's just, for me, I connect a bit more if I'm, on video. Yeah. And then there's a friend of mine who's also in the same industry. She's got her own website, and I thought I'll just go over and have a look at how she's going. And she hasn't updated it since 2013. And I thought, well, that's that's a bit strange. Obviously she's got other things going on, but websites, they probably do take a lot of time to refresh, and you got to devote a bit of time to maintain them. But that's just how it is, I guess.
Yeah. It's so funny. I don't know when the last time was that I Googled for something. I just go and ask in the group.
Yeah.
Does anyone do this? And some people say to me, "Oh, you should Google that." And I'm like, "Why would I Google it? Like, I'm sorry. Google is not the best decision maker when it comes to
maybe that's what we need. We need a new search engine. It's actually like the Lady Posse search engine.
Leah Winburn's making one.
She's
just here, actually. Yeah, she's got the most amazing concept going with basically a service directory that's all heart-centered, amazing women, and it's rating-based and recommendation-based, a little bit like TripAdvisor kind of thing, but for online services.
It's perfect.
Idea. Beautiful idea.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah. And you can
I know, I love that about it. Everyone wants to make an offer. Who doesn't want to make an offer?
All right.
Thanks, gals. What a beautiful chat.
Thanks very much. I'm late for my own meeting. I better go. I'm running the academy call now.
Fantastic. Mwah. Have a beautiful
See
afternoon. Beautiful afternoon. See you, lovely.
Bye.